Kevin, do you want to take the A part on this one? And, Carrie, why don't you take B?
Kyoto too.
Niha is drink your me.
Drink your imiter.
Sha is drink your mahi. August is aurani intak in fresh and naha.
Shakinsha.
Okay, come on. Let's see, how about Dermot, why don't you take A? Who hasn't? Oh, Francesca, why don't you take B? Sorry, I'm giving you the long sentence.
Kyoto too.
Niha is drink your me.
Drink your imoira.
Sha is drink your mahi. August in rahi intak in fresh and naha.
Shakinsha.
Okay, come on. And I guess, Taig, why don't you take A, and Melania, why don't you take B?
Ankiel tortu.
Niha is drink your me.
Not ring your imoira.
Sha is drink your mai. Agus is on arani ia dahi fresh in nahe.
Sha, kinsha.
Okay, come on. Are there any questions on this? How this is constructed, or any of the vocabulary or anything?
Well, naha, I'm confused.
Yeah, we had that in last week's lesson. That it's sort of an old particle that sort of means it or it is so. So remember, I think on the first handout here, we had the answers for yes and no were sha, meaning sort of it is so, and niha, it is not so. But you can also use these with the question forms, for a positive question and nach for a negative question. So, to ask somebody, is that so? Anya? Something like that. And isn't it so? Nacha?
So it would always be naha, regardless of whether you're saying she's a good dancer, isn't she,
Or he's a good dancer.
something,
Yeah.
isn't he, or
Or
always be naha?
they are good musicians. Oh, sha, niha, or oh, anya, nacha.
Okay, so naha doesn't change.
Right. That's why, but that you only use that with indefinite nouns. If you're saying they are, she, where is it? She is the good dancer or something like that. Then, the structure of the sentence changes a little bit. But I don't know if I want to get into that in this lesson. So.
But you can also say the negative and say she's not this, is she? And then at the end you say on.
Yeah, that's right. If you wanted to say, what was one of the negative ones? I'll just pick a word. So if you wanted to say, she's not a dentist, is she? Ni fitlor I, Anya. So, in other words, is that so? Oh, so you're telling me that she's not a dentist, right? That sort of thing. Okay. Were there any other questions? Okay. We've got plenty of time. Like, remember, I don't know, some of you maybe weren't here last week, or was it the week before, where we had I know, or I have something, rather. So remember, to say I have something, what you're literally saying is like, it's at me. So if I were saying I have a pen, literally what I'm saying is a pen is at me, or there is a pen at me. That's how you say you have something. There's no formal verb for to have. And I think, like I said, last week we learned I know. Literally what you're saying when you say I know, you're saying its knowledge is at me, or I have its knowledge. So Irish likes to express things differently than a lot of other languages would. So, for example, the next one here, the way to say I like involves the word is. So the way to say you like something in Irish, you say ismalium. So that means I like. And literally that means whatever you like is placed at the end of that expression, ismalium, whatever. And what you're literally saying is, whatever this thing is good with me. So that's what, remember, ma means good, and liom means with me. So the first thing on this handout here is the list of the prepositional pronouns for le, which means with. Because you're going to need to know these for liking things, or a lot of other expressions use le, meaning with as well. So the word for with is le. With me is liom. With you, liat. With him, lesh. With her, lay. With us, ling.
Ling.
With you, talking to more than one person, live.
Live.
And with them is liom.
Yo.
And when you're using le with a noun, it doesn't cause any weird changes to the noun that comes after. However, if you use it with the definite article, with the something or other, the le changes to lesh, and lesh un eclipses the noun that follows it. So we'll see some examples of this in a moment. So now this expression can be used with pronouns. So for example, I like it, ismalium a. It can be used with indefinite nouns. So for example, I like cheese, ismalium kosh. And you can also use it with definite nouns, meaning the something other specific thing. So for example, I like that book, ismalium on yaur shin. So remember, on yaur is the book, on yaur shin is that their book. So in other words, that book. So ismalium on yaur shin, I like that book, or literally, is good with me, that book. That's like that Irish expresses things in a very unusual way. That's why if I could have started off with basic verbs, and it actually isn't all that difficult, the verbs. I mean, they have their quirks to them, but there's so many things in Irish that you don't say with a verb. You have expressions that it's easier just to stick with, two basic verbs, ta and is, and you can get a whole lot of expressions covered out of those two verbs.
I'm sure they think that the English speak differently weirdly.
Yeah.
Can you also say Ismalium a liom? Like,
I don't think you would need the a with liam.
okay, so it's not like
Yeah.
before when we were using.
Right. When you're using it with a noun to
Yeah.
identify liam as the
As the
Kyotor or
secretary,
something
as
like
the-
that. If you wanted to say liam is a musician, you would say is Kyotor a liam, because you're identifying him with the musician. But in this case, it's not being used to identify what liam is or who the musician is. It's being used as a verbal expression, an idiom, to mean I like. So is good with me, Liam. You could say that ismalium Liam. I like Liam. He's good. But you don't have to put the a there because you're not connecting two nouns. Because technically Liam, is a noun. It's a person's name, so we don't always think of people as nouns. But a person's name identifies who they are. So. But you wouldn't have to use that with this, because here it's being used as an expression. Okay, are there any other questions, or should I just get to the negative and question form? So once again, this uses the same negative and question forms as is. So to say I don't like it, well, let's go back a bit. I like it, as you'll recall, is ismalium a. But I don't like it, nimalium a. Question, do you like it? Anmaliate? Don't you like it? Nachmaliate? And once again, there are no ways to say yes and no, so this is a little different. So the way to say yes to an ismalian, or an unmaliat, or nachmaliat, you would say, for yes, isma. And for no, it would be nima. Okay.
How do you say I'm not sure?
You could probably say Neil me kinche. That would be one way. I'm not certain. There's a bunch of different ways you could say it, but using words that we've seen before, Neil, me, and kinche, because we've had those. So yeah, Neil me kinche. It's another one. I'll put it up on the board right now, just to get it out of the way. Here, we probably don't need pronouns anymore because we're working with prepositional pronouns in this. Here's a useful one you might also want to learn. I won't cover it too much. But oops. Okay, so here's an expression that could be useful. Is kamalion. And what this translates as is, I don't care. it's all the same to me.
Favorites.
It's kamalion.
Kamalion.
I'm not, I'd have to go to the dictionary to find out what kama means on its own. I don't know if I've seen it except in this kind of expression. Yes. Basically it means it's all the same to me. I don't care.
What does she say? It's not, I'm not sure.
Is
You can't, what?
Oh, for I'm not sure? Yeah, I'll put that one up here.